Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are going to spend some time here at the garden center, and we are going to say goodbye to the summer begonias and hello to a really fun fall, winter, early spring container that's going to bring us interest and flowers throughout the season. And then I have a very fun tongue and cheek container that we are going to do. I have got Sweet Thing and I have got Furball here with me, so it is going to be a very fun day. So first we're going to do the two containers here at the pergola. These are the Esplanade urns from Unique Stone, and they are sitting atop, I think this is the large panel pedestal is what they call these guys. So we have these two here at the pergola. We have their matching pair also at the entrance to the nursery. They have rhododendrons in them that are doing quite nice, so those will stay. But yeah, it is time to say goodbye to the begonias. They have been great this year. These are the Surefire Reds. I adore begonias because they are so low maintenance. They are easy. They have performed their heads off all season long, but it's time to say goodbye. I mean, they are, yes, they are still covered in flowers, but they are very thin. And later on this week, I think our lows are supposed to get down to like the upper 30s. Yay us. I'm one of those weird people that like embrace the cold. Like if it's November, I want it to be cold. And so these will not like the cold whatsoever. So we are going to empty out these urns. I highly suspect that the root system has completely filled in this urn, and that when we pull them out, it will all come out together. Now, we did get some rain yesterday and last night, so they may not come out as one section. They tend to do that when they're dry. But I have a feeling that, yeah, we're going to have to completely empty those urns. That is why we have our great Proven Winners potting soil. That's the only soil that I use in our containers. And so we're going to refill it with that, and Jerry's got me some biotone around here as well. What is going to go in these containers? We're going to plant them exactly the same. So each container for its main interest is going to get a 3-gallon North Pole arborvitae. These are gorgeous, beautiful evergreens. We have them in multiple locations on the property. And so we're going to have fun, and we are going to use this as the centerpiece for the urns. Clearly, long term, cannot stay in here because your North Poles are going to be, I mean, they are a treat. They are an arborvitae. And long term, when you leave them in the landscape, they're going to be 10 to 15 feet tall, 3 to 5 wide. Now, you probably could put one in a container, but not one for a long term like in this Esplanade. This is going to be for a season. Come springtime, we'll pop them back out and probably add them to the landscape somewhere. That is going to be our main interest. Then we have some fun little additions that are going to go around it. So we have got beautiful Artemisia. So this is going to be give us that kind of that filler aspect of it that has that really gorgeous silver texture to it. That silver next to that dark green is going to be stunning. This particular one is called New Look. So New Look is going to be right full sun container, landscape requirements, 10 inches tall, 7 inches wide. And so depending on where you live, your Dusty Miller might be a perennial for you, or it might be an annual. So we have got this. Then of course we're going to come in with some fun flowers. We're going to go with violas in this one. So this really sweet little, very elegant viola. This one is I have a container. Let's see. I will find the tag here. I seem to be missing that, but it is a gorgeous bicolor, really has that cream and that really soft kind of blue. Some of them are a little darker than others, so it's going to be sweet. Your violas, of course, are going to be, for us here in the South, they are perfect for your fall winter containers because they will continue blooming throughout the season. Come springtime, when the heat hits, we can pull them out and put our summer annuals in. So we've got that. And then for a spiller, we've got some good old ivy, right? So just some good old variegated ivy. Going to bring that in and have all of that planted around the North Poles in these two urns. Now, let me show you how cheeky I'm going to be. So the other container that we are doing today, if you're familiar with Creekside, you know that here at the garden center especially, I like doing some, like taking weird pieces that you would not think of as planters and turning them into planters. You know, gardening should be fun. So we're going to have fun with this. So one of those weird containers that we turn into a planter is an old charcoal grill. So here we have the good old Weber. Yes, my friends, it is a Weber grill. Currently the lid's on it because there's no plants in here. So we are going to put some soil in this baby, and y'all, here we go. You're ready for this? So we are going to use the Ms. America mustard. We're going to put this in the center. I think I'm going to put 2 of them and plant them as one. This is going to be our smoke. Yep, the smoke from the grill will be the Ms. America. And then of course in a grill you have flames, right? So we have got these gorgeous, I mean, this is like Clemson orange right here. Clemson orange. These are the pansies. These are not violas. This is matrix orange, just an absolutely gorgeous flaming orange with some red snapdragons. So we will mix those in together to give us the fun planting for the grill, right? Gardening should be fun. Don't take yourselves too seriously, y'all. So whenever I do the grill, I always try to do something of like heat, flames, that kind of thing. So that's what we're going to do. And then as we go through and do these 2 containers, I'm going to give you alternate ideas, right? So as we're walking through and we're planting, okay, if you don't have a North Pole, maybe you want to do this. If you don't have that, maybe let's do this. So we're going to give you options as you're talking, as we're planting and talking through the containers. That way, hopefully you will find something that works in your garden. So first things first, what we've got to do is get the containers emptied. I think what we'll do is just going to throw it all in the back of Johnny. That way we can dump it easily. So we're going to get everything cleaned up, neat and tidy, and then we'll start planting and we'll have some fun together here at the garden center. Okay, my friends, so we wrestled out the begonias. Jerry ended up having to get a shovel because get some leverage underneath that, because like we said, the roots went all the way down. Fill it up with some brand new delicious potting soil and some biotone. Go ahead, take that shrub out of the container and plant it directly into that fresh soil. So North Poles, that's what we're using here. You could use a myriad of various different kinds of shrubs if you wanted to. When I first pulled up, I saw some gorgeous Florida Sunshine Alyssiums, bright, beautiful chartreuse green. So if you have a shady area, you could absolutely pop those in there. I personally went with the North Pole and upright because I still have lots of room underneath down here to plant. Now, the reason that we're planting these for the fall is, of course, because in the summertime here at the garden center, we've got gorgeous annuals in here. And so why leave these empty in the winter? We've got fall, winter, and like I said, these will go all the way through early spring. So if you have those containers at your house, especially if you're in the warmer zones like we are, North Carolina is zone 8A. So if you're in a zone like 7 and warmer, go ahead and plant up your summer containers with a fall arrangement, winter arrangement, early spring. You know, use what you got, my friends. So You could do like a North Pole. If you had a sting arborvitae, that would be really fun to do. You could do, if you had some sort of like topiary, a boxwood would have been a great option as well. So there's lots of different ways that you could use this. I even thought about the red twig dogwoods. How fun would that be? It would not have, you know, any green, but you'd have those gorgeous red twigs coming out in a container, and you could underplant that as well. Now, the annuals are not in yet. We're going to do that right quick. And using these peony purple Picotee violas. So that is what we're using. Of course, like we've said before many times here in the South, our violas and pansies are going to be, they're going to flower throughout the entire season for us. We use these in the fall and the winter, and we actually have to pull them out in the spring when the colder zones are actually beginning to plant their violas and peonies, listen to me, violas and pansies. But for us, we use them in the cooler months because these are cool weather plants. Just like that Dusty Miller is going to give us gorgeous color throughout the season, and then the ivy. Now, we did have an ivy in with the begonias, and when we were pulling out those containers, the plants out of the containers, we went ahead and kind of separated that ivy, because for us, this ivy, if it gets a hold of our garden and our landscape, it can really take over, and we do not want to have those crazy kind of invasive overtaking type of plants. So we will actually throw those straight into the dumpster. Now, this is a very healthy plant, right? So if you have a plant like this that has that massive root system in there, you do not have to be gentle, my friends. You can get in there with your thumb, if you've got a hoary, and just kind of break it up just a little bit, right? We want those roots to start to go out and not wind around themselves. So that is what we're going to do. Also, when you're planting containers, y'all, you can plant straight up, but if you want to tilt it just a little bit, then that makes you really be able to see it from all the angles, because this is a tall planter, so we don't want to look just at the side, we want to look at the top. It's going to grow and fill in, so you're good. Now, some other options, if you wanted to go a perennial route, right? So if you've got, maybe you do have a shrub in here, and you want to have something that's going to be a perennial for you in your underplantings. So I have done quite a few containers here lately from the fall that really have had a lot of beautiful like evergreen perennials in here. So if you have, let's say you have a shade container that you're planting, some great options for perennials that will give you evergreen color would be your autumn ferns, your carexes, any of your carexes, whether it's like an everillo or a feather falls. Another great one to do in a container is your hellebores, your Lenten roses. My gosh, y'all, they have such fun evergreen foliage to them, depending on the variety. Some of them will be kind of variegated and have some different interest to it. But of course, your hellebores, also known as Lenten roses, will give you flowers in those winter months. And so I have several different Lenten roses in containers that either they can live there year round, or you could put them in just in the fall. So you've got options there as well. You want to choose plants, obviously, that are probably going to have some interest throughout the winter. So a hosta, probably not the best choice, because that hosta is going to go completely dormant. Another great options are eucharas or tiarellas or eucharellas. All of those are going to give you some fun color, texture, and interest throughout the winter. Let's see, that one does not have a tag, so we are good. Now, the only thing that I will need to worry about this is getting it watered in. That biotone is a great starter fertilizer for all of these plants and will sustain them. These are not like super heavy feeders, so we don't have to worry about that too much throughout the season. So we're just going to top dress with a little bit of potting soil to make sure that everybody's roots are covered and get it well watered in. But that biotone is a great starter fertilizer, gets those roots going, and once these plants are happy, then they are just going to go to town. we're gonna get some height. We're gonna cover up this little, the naked ankles of the North Pole right here. In fact, Jerry and I were looking at it and it looked like it was kind of leaning a little bit, but I think the tree was ever so slightly crooked. So that's okay, because these are all going to grow up to that, you know, 10 inches, 6-7 inches, and fill in right here. So you're not going to see a bunch of this. And then of course the ivy is going to spill over a little bit. If you notice with your pansies and violas in the wintertime, especially like in January, February, maybe they're not flowering as well, they're not as dark green, maybe they're starting to turn a little yellow, go ahead and hit them with a shot of your water-soluble fertilizer. That Proven Winners water-soluble fertilizer is perfect for these guys because it's instant food. The time-release fertilizer that's actually in the Proven Winners potting soil and the kind that you can buy separate, that is released by temperature. The fall, the winter, not a lot of hot temperatures going on, so that food is not getting released from that fertilizer. That's why we only use the water-soluble in those times. But easy peasy, elegant, be low maintenance. It's just my kind of container. So we've got one done. We're gonna get the other one done, and then we're gonna go have some fun with the grill. All right, my friends, so we got the 2 Esplanade urns planted. I got them nice and watered. We'll go back to those in just a second. We're gonna give them a minute to drain and dry out just a little bit. Okay, you ready to get cheeky? Here we go. Now, I will say, y'all, just about anything can be a container that you can put your plants in, right? As long as it's got a drain hole somehow that it can drain, you are good, because not only do we have an old grill, we have the old wheelbarrow planted. I have an old refrigerator that a friend gave me. We flipped it on its side, put some holes in the bottom, and it is out in the pines, and it is a planter as well. So, you know, have fun. One of my dreams is to have an old like metal bed frame and to use the bed frame in the landscape and then plant the bed. You could have a patchwork quilt, you could have pillows. How fun would that be? That, and I've wanted to do a piano. Jerry nixed the piano because he was a mover in college, and he said the pianos are just an absolute beast to move. But I want to do a piano. That would be so cool. And then of course, I know you've probably seen those pictures of people that have like old trucks that don't run, and they have like the lid flipped up, and then they have all where the engine is all planted, and the headlights is gorgeous. I think it's so much fun. Gardening should be fun, and that is what we are doing today. So Ms. America mustard. These are wonderful. Like, this is a mustard, like edible, like you can actually eat this. Has a delicious spicy flavor to it, and we're going to plant this generously, right? So I want this container to look nice and full kind of from the beginning. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 of the Ms. Americas, and I am going to do my absolute best to get them centered in here. These are like quart-sized containers essentially, and the Ms. America will stay a lovely, I say evergreen, it's not green, you know what I mean, right? So we will have structure with this all throughout the entire season. This will not disappear. That is the beautiful thing about living in those warmer zones, is that you can have these plants to give you really fun color and structure throughout those colder months. As the season progresses, Ms. America is going to get nice and full. Like, she will fill this whole area up. So Ms. America in the center. I only have 4 of the red snapdragons. We're gonna make it work, people. This is snapshot red. So I think what we're gonna do is just kind of do the four corners, right? That's what we'll do. So snapshot is going to get the height on these, says it's going to be 8 to 10 inches. So that should be just fine. So we can do those guys, and then we have the matrix orange. The height on these is going to be 6 to 8, so that works out perfectly. So I think what we'll do is just put in between everybody, and I might, there we go, perfect. So just gonna snuggle those down in there. The red, the orange, the flames coming together. Lots of fun. I was thinking about, do I do a trailer? And I was like, no, I am going to stick with the fire theme, and we're just going to go up. So all I'm gonna do is just get these babies down in there, and then this one will be done as well. How stinking cute is that grill? I absolutely love it. Even Jerry gave me his seal of approval and said it was super cute. Nice and watered in. So between the pansies and the snapdragons and that Ms. America mustard, y'all, it doesn't have to be super complicated, right? Given in just a couple of, a short amount of time, this is going to be really full. Come spring, it is going to be super full. It is going to be absolutely beautiful. So that is that perk, absolutely, of living in the South, those warmer zones. We can have fun, interesting flowering containers throughout the fall and the winter with those pansies and violas and snapdragons and kales and mustards and you name it. So you can go for the annual look like what the grill is right there. Or of course, you know, let's go look at the two urns here at the pergola. Really fun, nice evergreen interest with a little bit of pops of flowers in there. Going to be super fun. Again, this is going to fill in quite nicely. If like with the ivy, with it being long right here, if you want to keep it more compact, just come in and prune it. So you can easily go ahead and clip it right here and this will fill in. But yeah, this whole container is going to get nice and full. Those colors are really going to pop against each other and it's going to be neat. Now, if this were say like near your, on a front porch or front gate or something and you had electricity, you could easily put some Christmas lights on that North Pole arborvitae. It would be that would be a really fun little addition. But having those North Poles in there really does make a difference as far as giving some height and some structure. Of course, right when we start filming to give you the final look is when the sun comes out. So we're battling that, but yeah, just keep them watered. And if you're like us here in North Carolina, the fall and the winter are historically very wet seasonally. So we have consistent rain. Typically, that will happen in the fall and the winter. So as long as they stay nice and moist, then you should be good to go. Watch them the first couple of weeks. Like we always say, when you have those new plantings, watch them for those first couple of weeks. Make sure those roots start to get really active and acclimated to that soil. I would say really for me, generally it's about that 2-week period, right? So just kind of keep an eye on it. Make sure all the roots really start to get growing, get into that soil. And then once that happens, then you should absolutely be good to go for the rest of the season. So whatever those containers are that you may have, whether it's a nice little tiny little petite pot that maybe you put a snapdragon in or a viola in, do that. Have fun with that. Or if you've got bigger containers, go ahead and put a shrub in there, put a tree in there, you know, for just part of the season, and let that grow and mature and have lots of fun throughout the entire growing season. As always, we hope you found this fun, informative, and inspirational. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.